This day 857, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you like to sponsor upcoming Shimmer the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please call me directly. Be greatly appreciated. Today we are doing Simon Tavkuf from the Aleph Yud Ches to Chav Dalet. Sorry, it's taking so long to page here. Yud Ches. Okay. Becoming chadashim, new clothing, ben levanim ben tzvuim, whether it's white or colored, ben shel tzemer, ben shel bishon, whether it's wool or linen, also bush b'Shabbos, now to wear on Shabbos chazoin. L'dida mi rosh chodesh, now to wear them on, well, I guess it means probably the week of Tish, actually, Shavuot Shechalbo. He said Shabbos, but even on Shabbos, but Shavuot Shechalbo. Then Rosh Chodesh for us, it's also from Rosh Chodesh and onwards. And she writes that a T-shirt, katones, even if which is new, you're allowed to wear on, even if you're allowed to wear on Shabbos Chazon, and just like you're allowed to wash a T-shirt or undershirt for Shabbos Chazon. The difference between wool and linen is only by old clothes, not by new clothes. New clothes have simcha, no matter what they're made out of. Certainly when you press them into the press, that they're like ironed, so also wear them even if they're not new. If they're ironed, it's also if they're old. We don't have this minhag nowadays. Shulchan writes, even though you wore them for several Shabbosos, still their ironing is still if they're, you can still tell that they were pressed. They're like new. There's no specific Shabbos Chazon, or if there's a meal on Tisha B'av, or Rosh Chodesh happens on a Friday. On Shabbos, you're allowed to wear these clothes on Shabbos. Again, we're not machmir all these things. We wear on Shabbos Chazon today regular pressed Shabbos clothes. I feel even new shoes you shouldn't put on in this week. For us from Rosh Chodesh, the chol beged or any garment or shoe which is chodesh, which is new, even though it doesn't have significance. Even though you don't make shachar, right? Nevertheless, there's some simcha and it's also. Which would mean that would be appropriate to machmir even on underwear, not to wear new underwear during the 9 days. Aval Mizayin Tammuz of Rosh Chodesh from Shivas Tammuz until Rosh Chodesh Mutar, Lilvos Be'Chodesh allowed to wear new clothing. Achim Rebecca Chashuv, but something significant, not underwear. Should talk about love shachion, which you have to make shachion loy b'shenu. Shouldn't wear if you have minhag shem baruch shachion ben emetzrim, because the minhag that we don't make shachion ben Shivas Tammuz till Tisha B'av. So a new garment which you make shachion that should not put on even from Shivas Tammuz. Shabbos shem baruch shachion, k'mosh yispara, but if it's a Shabbos of Ben Emetzarim from Shabbos of Tammuz to Rosh Chodesh, then you're allowed to put on new clothes and make a shechionu. Says, however, even though that's theoretically true, in practice, you don't put on a significant new garment, even on Shabbos during Ben Emetzarim. And the brackets, he writes, Kosvu Abach, the Tammuz and Avel, whose 30th day comes out on the 18th day of Tammuz. Mutar legalech, he's allowed to shave. Came to Medina, Mutar, of course, since according to strict law, allowed to shave till Shavuot Shechalbo. He's allowed to shave. Rak min haga. Only it's only minhag chaygav v'kitakfu avelus. It's like somebody Rahman Litzlan pays 2 avelus back to back, which would make of him to shave in the middle, not in the middle, at the beginning of the second one. So that. Ayin Sham. He says that's I say for Tzorchim. The data read wrong. Ayin Sham. He says see there. So therefore, it would be a heter for him to be to get his haircut on Yud Ches Tammuz. I have to say, this simon to me has been very confusing. I was much more confident of my knowledge of the 3 weeks and 9 days before we started this simon than I am now. Your test. Shame should also bush magani chadash, just like it's also wear no clothing, chadashim and new shoes, from Rosh on. By the way, we're makeup for it's Tishbav shoes, it's sneakers without leather. If they're bought for the purpose of Tisha B'Av. In other words, you bought sneakers tam, no. But you bought sneakers such like the purpose of Tisha B'Av, you can wear them after Rosh Chodesh. We also know how to fix them and prepare them after Tisha B'Av for after Tisha B'Av. Also, so they know how to buy them. Which is a chasakah first or second time. So came down period of review. No, he says even second time it's got to be one who doesn't have children yet. I would say widow divorced, but don't have children. After yesh lachtir, perhaps kimatik moshe receive the sign. And v'ar mitzvah mutter, for mitzvah purpose it's permissible. The bracket says here mashkosam agaravon sikol chav gimel la beis yosem mutter bosh going to beis yosem you're allowed to put them on. Kam nosem rosh chodesh av means from rosh chodesh av. Come on, rak b'shvul shechad tish b'av aser, meaning not such big kula, but from rosh chodesh av until shavuot shechabel you're allowed to wear them. When the rak shavuot shechad tish b'av asli bosh b'chadashim. Shavuot shechabel you're now allowed to wear new clothes. Came Medina Levisha b'si vav lokasav sheyeshos yimishchosh b'sharasav b'si vav zayim b'tikunam. They didn't write previously that there are those who ask for mishchodesh, like he wrote when it comes to fixing garments b'achli done in Akinim Koshav l'duk. But according to us, we don't in Ashkenazim we don't differentiate between from Rosh Chodesh to Shavuot Shechabos. All this would be also from Rosh Chodesh as well. Chav v'chein chayit Israel, a Jewish tailor, also lead for b'kodei chadash Rosh Chodesh. He's not allowed to sew new garments from Rosh Chodesh. Bein Yisrael, bein Yehudi, whether it's for a Jew or non-Jew. They are chashat because there's suspicion. She'amu Yisrael because they hey, he's sewing for a Jew. But people lenient about this, about sewing for a non-Jew. Beloch writes that the Gra is machmir, but you don't think machmir only by Shavuot Shechabel Tishbav, which according to Shavuot means that only with Shavuot Shechabel itself and not from Rosh Chodesh. If you're going to be machmir like the Gra, Bafilim she'Yisrael. Arukh HaShulchan says, oh, not like I just said. And it's very confusing here. That his tailor is allowed to even work on a Jew's clothing during the 9 days. Including Rosh Chodesh, as if he got them before Rosh Chodesh to work on, mutzah attacking. Then he's allowed to fix them even during the 9 days. Veneer attacking presumably means also here sew from scratch, because we're talking about not just fixing, but sewing from scratch. This is the topic here in the Sif. Only permitted if you need to make the money in order to support yourself. Have a little kina, but not to do it for free. Kosh can we do it for some shem shalani Yehudi the mutter, but certainly if it's well known that they belong to a non-Jew, it's permitted. They also give the custom is to give to non-Jewish craftsmen to fix new clothing during this time. They should be ready immediately after Tisha B'Av. I've got the kibbutz article saying now to give to non-Jewish laundry to have it during the 9 days. Have ready for after the 9 days. Seven days it's a kibbutz who's kabbalah. He says that's because the prohibition of laundry is mentioned in Gemara. I would think it's worse. But the religion says no, it's not mentioned in Gemara. You can be more like making new clothes. So chas mekala for chas mekala for Tisha B'Av atzmo. Tisha B'Av itself yachol any taken. The non-Jew can make the clothing. Nevertheless, you should diminish using this heter as much as possible. So after you masa mata in Laraboskim in commercial activity, you're not supposed to engage. It's too much. The kind of place which we have a sifhei. So a place like Rural Sifhei, there you have long articles about it. Question with Chaygam is certainly in such a scenario. Say no, give my lachem if you any Yehudi okay, tzarich mitzvah. Today we don't have a custom to do malachim rosh chodesh of for non-Jew, for non-Jew, unless it's like mitzvah. This is contracting work. It's not talking about salaried work. The dad that says she's by we're talking about new clothes who are dealing clothes can chadashim toim shukes gavna. You can't buy new silver vessels. Also for craftsmen to make you new silver vessels is also May Rosh Chodesh. You're not to do it as well. Chafav Isa B'Yushalmi Reish Perek Dal the Pesachim says Hani Nashi Nigid Lo Mishtei Amra Min Ayol Od Min Haga. Women who don't make threads, spin threads from from Rosh Chodesh Av. It's a minhag. Klamar Ave minhag toiv. It's a minhag toiv. Hashem ki hashasos yaresun, which merely means that the foundations were destroyed, but it's a plain word. Shesi, the thread which you spin, so it's similar to shasos, so therefore they don't make spin thread. V'achi perush. This means to say shanoshim nogo shlosos chutei shesi. You don't make the thread. Spin thread. Me Rosh Chodesh Arukh HaTishbav. Rosh Chodesh Arukh HaTishbav. Mishtei, Mishon, yeah, Mishtei is Lashon, is Misham, Mishtei Amra, Mishtei Lashon, Obashti Oba warp or wolf threads. Lama Bosi Kane, why not? Mignesh Shes, Lashon Yisoik, Mashasas Yaresun. It's Mitosh Nekra Bo, Nekra Bo, Evan Ashasia. It's not just the foundation here refers to the foundation stone, the Koshkodoshim. Don't make spin threads, not for themselves, not for others. Whether it's for free or for pay. Raka Shesi. This is only the warp thread of an Arab Osim, but the wolf thread you can make. And all types of other spinning. Obviously, this is only because of the remez, so we only answer the thread in which the remez applies to, which is the Shesi and not the Arab. I always get mixed up which is the stronger thread, so I don't remember whether Shesi is stronger, Arab is stronger. One of them is thicker, one of them is a thinner thread. So only the one of them is also. Also other types of spinning is okay. Why is it only also to spin Shesi of wool? Like that, I don't know. The Zikron Atchelas Vargon Big Day Kohuna, because to commemorate the Tchelas in Argomon, which were wool threads dyed blue and red, purple, and the Big Day Kohuna, Big Day Shesho Yoser, there are more linen threads than there were wool threads. That's the name of Shami Lesa Tevas Amra. Shami, it doesn't say the word Amra, which means wool, Elastam. It just says Stam, not to make the Shesi threads. Asheki Ashosas Yarosun, because of this pasuk. Rag with Turshona, because of Amra Turshona are the only ones who wrote specifically wool. Mr. Burr writes that no, any Shesi is also takes away that issue. Chabez, Kasar Rabbeinu Ramah B'Siv Hey, Ramah writes, no give Shul Kaddish Alavana Ad Achad Tishabab. Akal Shana, meaning it's not to Kish Lavana, to have Tishabab. Yesh B'Shkasar right, the Gam Achad Tishabab in the Kachar Achad Tainis, even after Tishabab shouldn't do Kish Lavana after the fast. Moskas in Tav Chavav, because the person is bitzar still, supposed to be encouraged to Simcha. Abashem Risa Kasar Adra, Yesh Kaddish Motzai Tishabab, you're supposed to do it immediately Motzai Tishabab. Kibol no like Ben David, because that's when Mashiach Ben David is born. Kavur by Madrashim, and because it creates Chaim. So that's the reason to mention David. So Chai V'Kayim at that time. Mishabura says you have to go taste something before the Mikush Levana, and but if you need to move one Mikush Levana, the tzibur and the tzibur will disperse. You can bring Mikush them even if you didn't taste. However, he says you should make sure not to be Mekash Levana without shoes. Now, nowadays, people are mako to be Mekash Levana even if they're wearing Tisha B'Av shoes. No, I don't think people actually make Tisha Levana barefoot or with just socks. That I don't think. Anyway, there are those who question this entire issue. How can we, if we have a mitzvah, which we can do, how do we push it off? Like a mitzvah. Okay, it's optimistic. Maybe you're going to get sick or die and not going to do the mitzvah. And therefore, you should do it as soon as possible, even before Tisha B'Av. Wherever that's the custom, that's the custom. I don't believe saying we in our countries, we don't wait. Anyway, there are many clouds in our countries, even in the middle of the summer. Knows it was not going to be covered by clouds. That's what I do. Before Tisha B'Av. Nowadays, the minhag is very strong to wait till after Tisha B'Av. According to the strict letter of the law, only Isra eat meat and Tisha B'Av at the Sudim HaSekes. Some years already, there's already a Masorah, not to eat meat nor drink wine from Rosh Chodesh until after Tisha B'Av, Levad Miyom HaShabbos, except for on Shabbos, Lezecher Karbanos v'Nesachim Batlu B'Av V'Nosenu, commemorate the Karbanos and the Nesachim, which have been canceled as a result of our sins. Some people have minute to desist from eating meat, drinking wine from Shiva Sabbath Tammuz. Yesh Kosrak Shavuot Shechal Tishba. Those are said only the week of Tishba. Avatar B'chol it says Pizrain and all of our Golios, meaning Ashkenaz, Nogim Rosh Chodesh, Minig from Rosh Chodesh. But when I say Rabbi Kamush from Zalzim Yisuzeh, now unfortunately there's some people who scoff at this Issa. Actually, no bring Issa the rice in Mitam Nether. Interesting way they also put it. It's not just being over Minig, he says, being over Issa the rice because of Nether, because all the Ashkenazim have accepted this upon themselves. The game which I was saying, keep all that minog zeh having nerja klai. So since our forefathers said to make some net of klai. So about say loni avosh loni koleim. So it's how we not embarrassed and ashamed. Harbe very much now umos from the nations. Sheinachlim harbe shavuos for many weeks, not anymore, but the good old days when Christians were Christians. They didn't eat for many weeks. Lo basar b'chavel beitzim during Lent. Preceding Easter, they wouldn't eat meat, nor drink milk, nor eggs. And we could add on that the Muslims for 30 days have fast for Ramadan. So we, the Jews, who say Aleim Nemar Kedoshim Tiyu is told to be holy. Lo Yovu Latzoros Atzmam Shmoni Yomim B'Shana. We can't refrain 8 days a year. Zichron Beis Kochem Zivatenu for the commemoration of the Beis Hamikdash. About your kids himself, my Navi, and concerning this, the Navi said, both should be coming to Archem Beis Yisrael, be embarrassed and ashamed, the Jewish people, from your pathways. Both shall go to mode, and the punishment is very great. I'm not sure he's going to talk about the Heter Siyumim. I assume he will, but we'll see. Chavdal, Shari Mashki, Mutar Afil Chamet Shayayin. Other beverages are permitted, and even wine vinegar is permitted. This is Bain Basar, Bain Basar of prohibition is whether meat both from beef and chicken. Rak mishu cholish only somebody is weak. Yochal chol basar of inside like eat chicken meat if he needs it. The Mishabura says that somebody is allergic to milk, he can eat chicken. Interesting. Some people allow meat sauce. That's not the minute. I feel even meat which we already have from before Rosh Chodesh, also you have to toss it. Can't eat it after Chodesh. Shabbos, even level on Shabbos. It's not comparable to the case which Rosh Chulin concerning meat which is not shechted properly, according to the opinion that the Jews didn't have to shech before they entered Yisrael. Yisrael said when the Jews entered Yisrael, they're allowed to eat under being grandfathered in, so to speak. The question is whether it's mutar also because Rosh Nafkamino Noida Mitavar. Yeshlo Me'adavar Mikoram Neder. Rosh says there is a application Bisman Hazeh. Somebody took a neder, not to refrain from something, but he had stuff from before the neder took effect. That's with the new neder. The little neder should door. Now the neder was taken generations ago. Because the was like an old prohibition. There's a mixture means something else. Near Tam, he says we don't go after the taste. Rather, taroibus is mutter, even if it has a meat taste. But to know that mutter yain. Also, somebody who takes an oath not to drink wine is allowed to eat from a dish which has a taste of wine. Because you're there to reach the zayin, ein sham. And even something which is already which was wine during 9 days, nepach and became vinegar. Ganke mutter is also okay. Mishnah shlo lechol bas b'shiva sabatamus. Some people talking that are not to eat meat even from shiva sabatamus. Mutter lechol b'shabbos is allowed to eat meat on Shabbos. The chol night that I know that everybody takes a nether in accordance with the minhag. Yesh lokim those that argue masikim ator and they require Torah nedarim to eat meat even on Shabbos of the 3 weeks. But im lo amar b'lashon neder lashon kabbalah by the mutter. Interesting. We didn't say this lashon neder or lashon kabbalah, even though. Not first, let me say Haim Lashon Kabbalah. But Rav Shulchan says here there's a distinction. Then he's allowed to eat the meat during the Shabbos of the 3 weeks. Mishnah Berurah Sharatzim write that netters when you say Harei Alai Shlo Le'echol, it's going to mean not to eat. He says Hareini No Der Shlo Le'echol Basar. He says I pledge not to eat meat. Ain't Lashon Neder, even though it sounds like a shvuah. I'm not sure why not. I guess if you say Hareni no there, that doesn't count as a shvua. You have to make an actual shvua. But I'm not sure how this is relevant to our discussion here. Regardless, okay.